Hi guys, this is O-Level Chemistry, paper 11, November 2018, question 11. Complete combustion of hydrocarbon produces only carbon dioxide and water, and the equation is given. When 0.1 mole of hydrocarbon C5H12 is completely combusted, which volume of carbon dioxide measured at room temperature and pressure is produced? So, 1 mole of any gas occupies a volume of 24 decimeter cube. So now in this case, the molar ratio is 1 is to 5. So if we have 0.1 mole of C5H12, it would produce 0.5 moles of carbon dioxide according to the molar ratio. So if we have 0.5 moles of carbon dioxide being produced, what volume would that occupy? We will calculate 0.5 upon 1 into 24, giving us a volume of 12 decimeter cube, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 12. What is observed during electrolysis of aqueous copper to sulfate using carbon electrodes? So now if it is carbon electrodes, it means that copper would be deposited at the cathode and oxygen would be liberated at the anode. So a pink solid is deposited at the anode? No, cathode. Bubbles form on the negative electrode. Negative electrode is the cathode. Bubbles would form at the anode, which is the positive electrode. So this is also incorrect. The color of the solution fades. Yes, because copper ions are reduced to copper metal, so the blue color of the solution will fade. The negative electrode becomes smaller. The negative electrode is the cathode. Cathode is where reduction takes place and nothing would happen to the size of the electrode in this case. Whereas the anode, because oxygen is being produced, if the temperature increases sufficiently that the carbon can react with oxygen, the carbon anode would burn away in the form of CO2 and its mass would decrease. So it's not the negative electrode, it would be the positive electrode that would become smaller over time. So this results in option C being the correct option for this question. Question 13. Electrolysis is used to plate a metal statue with silver. The statue is an electrode in a suitable electrolyte. Which row is correct? Now, we have to plate the statue with silver. So, in order to plate it with silver, that means silver ions must reduce and form silver metal on the statue. That means the statue must be the cathode, which eliminates options C and D, and the electrolyte must be a soluble salt of silver. So silver chloride is not a soluble salt, silver nitrate is a soluble salt. So this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 14. Which statements about endothermic reactions are correct? Energy is absorbed from the surroundings? Yes. Endothermic means energy is taken in. Energy is released to the surrounding. That is what happens in an exothermic reaction. Temperature of the reaction mixture falls. Yes, temperature decreases during an endothermic reaction because energy is taken in. Temperature of the reaction mixture rises. This is what happens in an exothermic reaction. Energy is given off, so temperature rises. Since statements 1 and 3 are correct, option A is the correct option for this question. Question 15. The equation represents the reaction between two gases X2 and Y2 to form the compound XY. The energy profile diagram for the reaction is shown. Which statement about the reaction is correct? Okay, the energy profile diagram is of an exothermic reaction because the energy of the products is lesser than the energy of the reactants. So the E that has been labeled here is not the activation energy. The activation energy is the energy from the reactants till the point of maximum energy known as the transition state. This is what activation energy is, and the energy from the reactants between the products is the delta H or enthalpy change of reaction. Okay, the activation energy of the reaction is equal to E? No. The enthalpy change of reaction is equal to E? No. The reaction is exothermic. Yes. The total energy needed to break bonds is greater than the total energy needed to form bonds. If the energy needed to break bonds would be greater, this would be an endothermic reaction. Here, the total energy needed to break bonds is lesser than the total energy needed to form bonds because more energy is given off. So this makes the reaction exothermic and not endothermic. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 16. The equation shows the reaction for the manufacture of ammonia. Which change will decrease the activation energy of the reaction? The only way the activation energy can change is by the use of a catalyst and not by changing any conditions like temperature, pressure, or concentration. So, option A says addition of a catalyst. This is correct. B says decrease in temperature, no effect on activation energy. C says increase in concentration, no effect on activation energy. D says increase in pressure, no effect on activation energy. Therefore, option A is the correct option for this question. Question 17. When bismuth 3 chloride BiCl3 is added to water, a reaction occurs and a white precipitate of BiOCl is formed, which changes increases the mass of the precipitate form, which means the forward reaction is favored. So adding more water will increase the concentration of the reactants, favoring the equilibrium to shift towards the right, forming more of the precipitate. Yes. Adding aqueous sodium hydroxide. If aqueous sodium hydroxide is added, it would react with the HCl and neutralize it. So the concentration of HCl would decrease, resulting in a decrease in the concentration of products, causing the equilibrium to shift towards the right, increasing the concentration of HCl and at the same time increasing the amount of the white precipitate of BiOCl form that is formed. So this is also correct. Adding dilute hydrochloric acid. If we add dilute hydrochloric acid, the concentration of the products would increase, causing the equilibrium to shift backwards, resulting in a decrease in the quantity of the white precipitate of BiOCl. So this is incorrect. So out of the three changes, changes 1 and 2 are correct, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 18. Calcium carbonate reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to produce carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is collected using the apparatus shown. The reaction is done 4 times. For each reaction, 25 grams of calcium carbonate and an excess of hydrochloric acid are used. Which reaction mixture fills the gas syringe with carbon dioxide in the shortest time? Okay, so now let's recall. For the shortest time, you would need a higher concentration of the acid so that more moles of it reacts, and we would need a finely divided or powdered form of calcium carbonate so that the exposed surface area is more and the reaction would be quicker. Quantity of the gas produced in each case would be the same, but the time taken would be different based on the concentration of the acid and the size of the solid particle. So let's see. Which reaction mixture fills the gas syringe with carbon dioxide in the shortest time? A. Lumps of calcium carbonate with 1 mole per dm³ hydrochloric acid. Okay, now we will have to compare and eliminate. Next, lumps of calcium carbonate with 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. So B is a better option than A. C. Powdered calcium carbonate with 1 mole per dm³ hydrochloric acid. And D, powdered calcium carbonate with 2 moles per dm³ hydrochloric acid. So option D is better than option C. So A and C have been eliminated. Now comparing B and D. B says lumps of calcium carbonate. D says powdered calcium carbonate. So powdered would be better than lumps. Eliminating option D. This results in option D being the correct option for this question. Question 19. Many reactions involve oxidation and reduction. Which statement is correct? Acidified manganate ions change color from colorless to purple when reduced? No, they change color from purple to colorless when reduced. From purple to colorless when reduced. Or you can say they go from colorless to purple when oxidized. So in either way, This statement is incorrect. All reaction that involve oxidation also involves reduction. Yes, because the process is known as a redox reaction. Reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. Any reaction in which reduction is happening must be accompanied by oxidation and vice versa. You cannot have oxidation or reduction taking place alone. Next, during a reaction, oxidizing agents lose electrons. Oxidizing agents themselves are reduced, so they gain electrons. Reduction is the loss of hydrogen from a compound. No, it is the gain of hydrogen by the compound. So option B is the correct option for this question. Question 20. Three separate mixtures of a solution and a solid are made as shown in the table. The mixtures are warmed. In which mixture does gas form? So NaOH and ammonium chloride. NaOH is a base, ammonium chloride is an acidic salt of ammonia. So in this case, ammonia gas would be produced. Sulfuric acid and ammonium chloride. This reaction will not happen because sulfuric acid, being an acid, will not react with ammonium chloride, which itself is an acidic salt. So no gas would be produced in this case. And hydrochloric, no, sulfuric acid. H2 is about sulfuric acid and magnesium metal. So this would produce hydrogen gas. So a tick represent gas formation and an X represents no gas is formed. So this results in options C and D being eliminated because of the first reaction. Out of the two remaining A and B, the second one has no gas being produced, which is correct in option B and incorrect in option A. And hydrogen gas being produced is also correct in option B, making B the correct option for this question.